now that y'all are interesting, now that y'all are
The
giving us
past 40
something.
years, not so much.
Not so much, but now y'all giving us something to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of On It. We are here. You got me. You got Devin. And we are nice. We are in what we call it, unexpected times.
We are in
Un
uncharted territory.
uncharted
We've
territories.
never been
That's
here before.
There we go. That's what I wanted to hear. The NFC divisional round recap episode, I guess.
Yep.
Um, the Washington Commanders, your team, is
My
moving
team.
on to the final round before the Super Bowl.
One more game. Two
And
more games.
Baltimore, my fan base, who we will talk about, it's gonna be sitting on the couch, hopefully rooting for y'all because, like we've talked about before, there ain't really no hate or like rivalry. So it's like
We don't. We've never been good enough to have a rivalry in y'all's existence.
but even then, it's
Either
like
way, like
it's NFC, AFC. It's like the
we're not
Jets and
playing.
the Giants.
We're not playing.
They don't care about each other. Like it's like, oh, we share a stadium, ooh. Or Rams
Exactly.
Chargers. Like that's not, it's
Not
not
a
a
rivalry.
thing.
No.
It's even to me like Steelers Eagles. That's more of a fan base. Like
Yeah.
who's gonna be like worse, just worse people,
Yeah.
if anything. But team
It's
wise, I don't
guess
know.
what? It's Philly.
Yeah, it's probably Philly.
It's definitely Philly.
It's probably Philly. But man, Devin, I don't even know where to start. I know we're starting with the obvious because there's no way I can sit here for like 30 minutes and talk about like, oh, then the Rams barely lose to Philly. It's like, no. We're gonna get to
Yeah.
why my voice sounds the way it sounds. Because I keep sitting here trying to figure out. It's like I couldn't figure out if my voice was too low or if I just lost my voice and don't have it back yet. And that's because as a Ravens fan, Devin, I went through probably the most common heartbreaking loss a Ravens fan can endure. Like it's like this is a
And
normal thing.
in recent history, this is a somewhat normal occurrence.
The John Harbaugh era.
Yes.
And I will say, before I even get anything, this might be the first playoff game where or the first, time in the Lamar Harbaugh duo where it's like the coaching really had nothing to do with this one. Now,
Yeah.
maybe the only thing I'd
There's
say,
obviously a few things, but
and we'll get to that, but like I don't feel much of a like anybody saying fire John Harbaugh right now.
nuts.
We're not like,
No.
okay, so we're gonna fire John Harbaugh and do what? Bring
Yeah.
in somebody else. It's like you really can't. You the things that Lamar and Derrick Henry and whatever. It's like you can't really teach or coach that.
No.
It's like if anything, you just
Facilitate.
you're just there. It's like you're
Yeah.
just. It's almost like
Steve Kerr.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. It's almost like that, and that's not
Yeah.
disrespecting John Harbaugh, but it's like there's a reason why
You get the best coaching that you can give those two guys is letting them do their thing.
Yeah, it's like giving Lamar more freedom was the best coaching decision probably made since Lamar's been QB1. But with all that being said, I'm not surprised. And the reason I'm not surprised is because, well, I called it.
Yeah.
I think beat for beat, I called this game last episode almost exactly how it went down. Not how the ending will go down, but I said the Bills are going to win. The lights were going to be way too bright for Baltimore, and when it comes to these emotional games and just these big moments, they cannot get over that barrier.
Yeah.
And I said the Bills are going to win by scoring 27 points.
You did.
But with all that being said, I don't even know like where do you start? Because I'm the Ravens fan talking about this. And obviously we've had our history with the Bills fans this year. And I still stand on everything I said. Josh Allen, is not the MVP of the NFL. And
No.
sure, whatever, y'all won. Good job. Great game. Second off, Bills the same way, like I'm gonna talk about the Chiefs later on. Like I wasn't impressed.
No.
Like the Bills cannot honestly look in the mirror and go like, we dominated this game. When you watch, maybe, and this is not being, I'm not exaggerating. The worst interception I've seen Lamar ever throw.
Yeah.
Like just the worst interception. And sure, if it's because of the snow or whatever, sure. I wasn't given that excuse.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna be given that excuse. I said last episode, it's gonna be the weather's gonna suck. It
But both of
sucks.
them are playing in it.
Weather sucks in Baltimore. It sucks in every place that we play in the AFC North. It sucks. The northeast weather sucks, regardless of where you are. So, I wasn't shocked if I wasn't gonna be shocked if a couple balls are gonna be slipping here and there.
Of course.
Now, when you're like Mark Andrews, and you got open field ahead of you, and you decide. Now, here's the thing. It wasn't like Mark, go down situation.
No.
It was and if you can really, really, really recall the play, the fumble, it was Mark, why are you trying to play like Zay Flowers?
Why are you stopping and cutting under and going back up? You don't have speed like that.
Did that not look like he was trying to just emulate Zay Flowers?
Well, because he caught it and he could have gone either straight up or gone down. Instead, he tried to cut back up, gets the punch.
Oh, the best meme is like it's a screenshot of right when he caught it, and it's like, wow, it's like Mark Andrews with nothing with daylight ahead. It's like you'll never believe where he went.
Exactly. He went fucking back up.
Parallel straight towards the sideline.
Exactly.
He deserved to get that ball punched out.
No, it was a terrible play. Now, but with that much momentum, you don't need a fucking huge play. You've already got a 20-yard gain on that play. You don't need anything else crazy.
Oh, and
go straight. You're big. Run through people.
And interception aside, and we'll get to the turnover by Lamar, the other turnover by Lamar, but interception aside, Lamar 250 yards, game on the line, mind you.
Yeah.
2-minute offense. Like I'm not. This was not to me. This was if we had to make a tier list of like Lamar, I guess, selling in the playoffs.
This is not anywhere close.
It's like, okay,
it's a loss, but
we have seen Lamar this year bobble that snap the same exact way and throw touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's like I heard Shannon Sharp say it the best. He said you got to take the good and the bad with what Lamar can do on a play like that.
Yeah.
When you got plays like it was the one against Cincinnati where he bobbled a snap, comes around, throws a tutty.
Exactly.
That's the same reason on that fumble. It's like, no, you're Lamar Jackson. There's a chance you're going to pick that ball up, spin out. It's like, no, it's like if you pick that ball up and don't fumble, Vaughn's not catching you.
No.
So we're going to see what happens. But the way he talked about it was he wasn't going to be able to throw it because it was an RPO. So the linemen were already upfield. Either way, that was maybe a fall on it situation. I'm not gonna harp on that because the Lamar interception, the Lamar fumble, the Mark Andrews fumble in the past in the playoffs, we would have been down and out. And our defense
kept you all in that.
They kept us in that game, and our adjustments at halftime kept us in that game because for some reason, and I don't know if you noticed, but the first drive, we start to run it, and like first play or two, we get like stuffed. Derek gets a yard or two.
Yeah.
And we kind of almost immediately abandon a run.
That's what I'm saying.
And then we get the touchdown with Rashad, and then I feel like it was almost like, all right, I guess we're passing the day.
It looks like we're throwing the ball. It's like,
because
no.
Then next drive,
and then there was a lot of passes on first down, and it's like now you got to run the ball on second down and then throw it again on third. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like Ravens football.
We came out in that third quarter.
Yeah.
Absolutely dominated with the run.
Exactly.
Had we came in with that attitude
the whole game.
Look, I'm not making any excuses because I, in my heart, know that the Ravens beat themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But it truly does make me wonder, how would this game have went? Like when you look at so Josh Allen threw for 127 and their leading rusher had 67 yards. Josh didn't throw a touchdown. He had two. He had a
goal line touchdowns,
small scramble, and then a sneak. It really makes me wonder if that's all they had to give us.
Yeah.
What would have happened if Lamar and Mark don't fumble?
Yeah.
What would have happened if Lamar doesn't throw the worst interception in his career?
Mm-hmm.
What would have happened? It really makes me wonder if we don't have three terrible. Because I saw something else. Our 7 previous games, we only had a total of 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
That was the first fumble since 2019 for Mark Andrews.
For Mark Andrews.
Since before COVID.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews. Since before COVID.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews hasn't
like
fumbled.
literally the worst possible time to fumble.
But it's almost like putting a dog down from my perspective, because I knew we were losing this football game. I knew how we were losing this football game.
Yeah.
And it's almost like dogs. Oh, you hate to see it, but you know it's got to happen. You know it's going to happen, and you just got to sit there and you got to watch it happen.
Yep.
And
then it breathes again.
Or oh God, dude, no, dude, don't give me one, dude. Like a dog, you're putting a dog down and it's struggling. Like you got to keep feeding it, and it's like oh God,
it keeps trying to breathe.
It just keeps.
That's what the game felt like, you know.
And I don't know. I'm not surprised. I
mean, quite honestly, I'm not sure if you would agree, but at the end of the game, I think I would rather have seen you guys lose. If the Bills scored a touchdown there, you guys lose instead of kicking that field goal.
I'd rather get my ass kicked.
Yeah, no, I would have rather have seen you guys lose to that touchdown and just not have a chance to get back, not have enough time, than Mark drop that, or see Mark catch that and then they go off and kick a field goal or whatever. But that's that's the worst way, because it's like you don't get that. Did the Bills come back and whatever? Yeah, it's brutal.
And the Ravens fans, I feel like we're just numb to this, like the heartbreaking fashion.
Well, this specific way, I'm remembering specifically the Steelers game a few years ago.
You want to go through the Rolodex?
Well, no,
what do you want to go through?
The Steelers game a few years ago when Lamar overthrew Mark on the 2-point conversion.
Oh, yeah.
And it felt the exact same as that, and it was just.
We didn't even talk about the drop at the end of the game.
No, we didn't.
Which I also want to say, it's this hindsight shit that pisses me off, where everybody's like, Mark should have went down on the fumble. It's like, no, he shouldn't have. He should have went
forward. Yes.
He should have went straight.
Like he does all the time.
And then the 2-pointer, it's like, see, well, if y'all didn't go for 2 earlier, it's like, no.
It's like, no, that was to tie then. You don't know if you're going to score.
And then if we had have gotten the 2,
yes,
what would an extra point have done later on? We would have went up 1.
Yes.
Like I'm saying,
exactly.
The hindsight, it's like you in hindsight, sure, yeah, we should have went for 2, but I don't know. The play was it was drawn up beautiful. Yep. It was.
Well, he was wide open.
And what were you? You said something. Not to interrupt you, but maybe just to help you. You said something right before we started the pod. You were. I think.
Yeah, I just said I hate that play just because of the amount of times that play has failed, the amount of things that can go wrong on that play. The pass can be bad. If we're going to be completely honest, that pass was probably a little bit low to Mark. I'm not saying it was low, but I'm saying that there's so much that can go wrong on that play.
Hold on.
No, he should fucking catch that ball.
Hold on. So, Mark Andrews gets paid this thing called money, right?
I know.
He gets this thing called money.
He
gets a lot of it, right? Now, all he has to do is take his 2 hands and
turn him under.
And guess what? The ball, it did it. You know what his body did? Half the job. It fell right into him. All you have to do, finish, Mark. And guess what? We're going into overtime, or the Bills break our heart. And maybe either way,
But also, you have Derrick Henry. You have Lamar. You have dudes who can.
Which, can I just say,
get in the end zone.
I'm not. This is not the game that's making me say this. This game is part of the reason. But I have been rallying for this all year and have been on this watch all year. Mark's got to go.
Yeah, no.
Mark's got to go.
You've been saying that.
If he doesn't go this offseason, I don't think he will. He has to go next year because we're going to pay Isaiah Likely. Somebody else will if we don't. If we need to keep Isaiah Likely, I'm sorry. He can do more. He's more versatile. And I hate to break it to you, but the people that are like Lamar, who said, that don't blame Mark Andrews, and John Harbaugh, who said we wouldn't be here without Mark. No. I hate to break it to anybody who's a huge Mark Andrews fan. Anything Mark Andrews did receiving wise, Isaiah Likely could have done times 3.
Mm.
And just because this was the year they decided to have some fucking scheme where he QB sneaks and he's lined up. We have Derrick Henry. We could have done that with Derrick Henry all year.
Exactly.
And we didn't need Mark Andrews to do that. We could have done 6-6 Isaiah Likely and thrown him back there to stretch out for a 4th and 1. We didn't need Mark to do that. So to be completely honest with you, in this run in particular, we didn't need him.
No.
In the past, last year, well, honestly, even last year, because what happened, what that led to a ban, Devin, some hip drop tackle.
Yes.
Hip drop tackle. So in my head, I was like, oh, he helped us get last year, but it was like, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
Because his leg was broken. It didn't matter. So I say after next year, if it's a conversation of do we keep Mark or let Isaiah walk?
Yeah.
Mark can walk and we can keep Isaiah Likely because I'm really afraid of the Super Bowl window. And I kind of wanted to ask you what you thought.
Well, I mean, I think Lamar, depending on how long Lamar stays with this team, Lamar's Super Bowl window is all of his career, or the majority of his career. But with this team, with Derek, with this setup, receiver core is young, but it needs to be. You guys need to throw in someone who's maybe older and more experienced, and someone who's better than the receivers y'all got, just as like what y'all have had to or should have done years and years ago. But with this specific team, Mark can do whatever the fuck he wants, but with Lamar and Derek and all that shit, 2 years max.
That's exactly what I thought. 2 years for this team in particular. Now, 3 years from now, you could easily just build a different team around Lamar Jackson.
Exactly.
And we'll see. But it's, all of these top quarterbacks are all going to be around. You got young guys who are balling right now. It's like there's a limited time for this team to do what they can do. And every offseason, it's a hub for free agents to want to go to. And we got some free agents, but, I'm looking at some free agents that I'd probably let walk. Maybe Nelson Aguilar, definitely Brandon Stevens, Patrick McCarry.
Yep.
You can go. I'll see you later, brother. Because I don't know if you remember or have realized, but it's like we had a great year and we were very, very, very undisciplined.
Sure.
A lot of penalties, a lot of just false starts, a lot of just bonehead decisions, and hopefully that gets cleaned up because I don't know what happens if we don't lead the league in penalties. But there's a lot. But Stanley, Patrick Ricard, Adarius Washington. I'd say maybe those are some free agents we can bring back. We could talk about Marcus Williams, but to be honest with you, I'm kind of over the whole veteran shit in the DB room. It's like, I just need dogs out there that are going to ball. At this point, our veteran can just be Marlon, and that'll be that. Because surprisingly, bro stepped up. But like I said, with this window and this team in particular, you got to think a year or two from now, it's going to be, or after next year, are we going to be too we extending Kyle Hamilton? Are we going to keep Isaiah Likely? It's like those type of things, and we'll see. We will see. But at the end of the day, it was a fun year.
Of course.
I'm not like that. I'm not really heartbroken at all because, and I hate to keep saying this, but it's like, Devin, like, I was here last episode.
Yeah.
I told you, like, we're going to fold. And that wasn't me, like, doing a bit. Like, I was telling you, like, we're losing the game. This is going to be why. And that's exactly why.
Yeah.
And at this, for right now, going into, and I want this to be reminded, I want us to remember this going into next regular season. We can congratulate Lamar for what he does weekly. We can appreciate the highlights we get from him week 6, week 12.
Sure.
We can give him MVP votes.
Yeah.
But until he shows me that bro can get to a Super Bowl,
yeah,
I love him. And there's no other quarterback I want than Lamar Jackson. I don't give fuck your Josh Allen's or your Patrick Mahomes or your whatever. Lamar Jackson, there's only one Lamar Jackson.
Exactly.
But at this point, I'm really afraid of him being, you know, a Dan Marino, a Phillip Rivers, because like right now it's like he's a weird mix because he's about to win his 3rd MVP and he's going to be the only He's going to be the only person with 3 MVPs to never even have a Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like Peyton Manning without the Super Bowl, he's like Colts Peyton Manning without the Super Bowl now. So maybe we're just building up to that Super Bowl.
Yeah, maybe.
I would love for it to happen.
I mean, I don't know how long it took Peyton. It was fairly long.
What, 98 to 06?
07? No, 05? 06?
06. 06. Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
Whatever year.
It was 06. It was 06.
Yeah, 06.
It was the first. So about 8 years. But that's, I mean, hey, bro. I mean, hey.
Well, that's 2 years from now.
Clock's ticking.
That's 2 years from now, which is, well, maybe 1. But yeah, no, I would give this team in 2 years, but you know, I mean, I think Lamar will win one at some point. He's a freak of nature, but yeah, I mean, it's just it seems like you guys play different football in the playoffs, and it's a different mentality, it's a different vibe, and
we gotta get over that.
It's
hump.
playing scared. It feels like, you know.
We gotta get over that hump, and it's never. I'm never gonna sit there and be those fans who are like, because there's so many people who are like, oh, it's never gonna happen. See, once again, it's like, no, it's like once we go into the playoffs, and I don't have that feeling. All regular season, it was like, this is cool, but come playoffs, it's like I know what's gonna happen. And
well, I mean, start of the season there were struggles, and I mean, the struggles didn't stay, but they were kind of, you saw glimpses of it at points.
But you know what, Devin? It's like the MVPs, the stats are cool, but let me get us beating the Bengals, and we don't need 5 touchdowns because we gave up 5 touchdowns.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let me get more wins just because we only had to score 13, 16 points. You know, like, you know, the Chiefs kind of just cruised by.
Yeah.
Not every game has to be a nail biter.
Yeah, it seems like that. And I mean, a lot of the attention for y'all has been how to make this offense better. Y'all need some defensive help, because I mean.
Well, you saw the graphic. Once we made this switch to put Kyle Hamilton over top, we were first place in every single ranking.
Yes.
So going into next year with that game plan, I think we made an internal move that really, really helped the defense. Yeah. And if we build around that going into next year, it should help.
No, I think some more defensive dominance where you can hold a team to 10, 13 points and just cruise by. Because there's not a whole lot of games where y'all aren't scoring 20 plus points.
I mean, even like wild card versus Steelers, or, you know, when we beat the Cowboys, it's like we should have not had to do anything else in the second half.
Yeah. And
the fact that we even had to put up more points in the second half shows that, you know, the defense obviously has a little bit more to work on. But that was kind of my point, is offense, defense. I didn't really look at this team as the best Ravens team I've seen.
No.
So
I mean, but people talked about it like that. It was like MVP Lamar, Derek's playing
I've
great, and
seen this though, bro.
it just didn't feel, you know.
I've seen MVP
I
Lamar. I've
mean
seen Derrick Henry.
the
It's like
19 team I thought looked better. Um, last year y'all look great.
and look,
Last year, honestly, y'all looked better
last
last
year,
year
Devin, last year we were in the AFC Championship at home.
at home,
Last year we were in the AFC Championship at home.
and it was what 2 fumbles in that game
And
that
I
lost it
mean
for
it's
y'all.
just it's heartbreak after heartbreak and I just that's the thing. I need a year where it's just a cruising Lamar and he elevates in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Like I'm sorry, and there's no comparison, and you can barely even bring this man's name up when you talk about Lamar, but you got to. Joe Flacco elevated in the
that
playoffs.
flag game.
Joe Flacco
No,
elevated. I'm
no, for
saying
real.
like Joe
Like,
Flacco is just
what was y'all's record? 10 wins that year?
10-6, 10 and
Yeah,
6, and all years like or
he had one of the best playoffs ever.
every year, every time Joe Flacco snapped the ball, it's like who knows.
Exactly.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
He's either going to check it down or he is throwing the biggest piss missile
Yeah.
possible. And in the playoffs, it's just
Well, another. I mean, just the defense. Then it was different. Yeah, y'all were a dominant figure.
And I
Not the same now.
not to keep mentioning Shannon, but there's multiple times besides that Super Bowl run the year before that we had New England beat
Yep.
in 2011,
Yep.
and then a couple years after that in 2014 we were up 14 twice in the same game versus New England, and who
Yeah.
let it slide? That damn defense.
Exactly.
Like there's been way too many more times where Joe Flacco has showed up in the playoffs versus the amount of times Lamar hasn't.
Exactly.
And this is the one game where he's done. I would say I truly believe he did enough.
I think he played well enough.
And this is obviously, like I said, hindsight, hindsight vision. But if Mark doesn't fumble and or Mark catches that 2-pointer, Lamar did enough.
Yeah. For
But
sure.
who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Who knows?
No, I mean, yeah. If Mark caught that 2-pointer, who's to say? I mean, y'all did leave time on the.
Mm-hmm.
It was what, a minute 30 almost.
Oh yeah, because who caught the ball? Who caught the touchdown right before that? That was like a way further pass, and like it would have been a way harder ball to catch in those snowy conditions.
Who was it?
It was the tight end that's listed as the backup on our depth chart.
Isaiah
It was
Likely.
Isaiah Likely who caught that pass, but then we rely on a 2-yard just roll out bootleg to Mark.
Throw it to Mark.
That's fine. All right, let's talk about.
Damn.
Let's talk about y'all, Devin. I woke up a Commanders fan. Devin. When the Ravens lost, when I knew it was over for them, I said, "Well, guess I know who I'm rooting for."
This is weird, dude. I really don't know how to act. I don't know what to do with myself. I've never seen this before. With either of my teams, the Orioles or.
Dude.
Well, I saw it with the Orioles, but it wasn't good.
Dude, y'all destroyed.
Dude.
The Super Bowl favorites.
Dude. We broke them. I think we broke Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff has reverted to 2021 Jared Goff, and he's about to get traded again.
And this might be the last time, and it's the last time I'm gonna give myself any credit because I do think I went 2 for 2. They folded, bro. Like Detroit, like Washington went in there so like it was a preseason game.
Easy.
Hall of Fame, bro. They're in Canton.
We talk about Jaden's composure. That whole team looked like they had nothing. Nothing to worry about.
You got to think it's like a lot of these teams ride for their quarterback.
Yeah.
So when you look at a Tennessee Titans and they just see like Will Levis just freaking out, just have not a clue what's going on.
Yes.
Maybe there might be a vibe in that locker room where it's like, all right, well, we got dumbass running the
Yeah, we don't know
offense.
what the fuck. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think that you get this far in a season, and you got to think at some point it's like, and you got veterans like Austin Eckler, Bobby Wagner, where it's like, no, it's like he's the truth.
Yes.
We're good. We're
Well, I
rocking
mean,
with high.
it's like we didn't change this team much. It was Austin, Bobby, Frankie Louvu, maybe a few other pieces, but this team is essentially the same.
Yeah.
If not, we've lost some pieces.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I mean, I think we shouldn't have been as bad as we were last year, but he's elevated this team to
Dude.
immeasurable fucking.
Dude. Y'all
It's
put up
incredible.
28 points in the second quarter.
Dude,
Y'all
when
just
I had to do something, I missed that part. I missed the Terry 58-yard touchdown, and I missed the pick six because it was what 17-10. Check my phone 2 seconds later. It's 24-17. And I was like, yeah, it was. And
and
then to score again, and then to pick him in the end zone.
And I'm watching because at first y'all are going, it's back and forth,
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn, this is a good game.
Well, I felt bad early because we stopped them on the first drive.
Stopped them in the first drive.
I think we got stopped
and scored. It was 7-3 at the end of the first.
Yeah.
Or first quarter.
But no, their run game looked great. Jahmyr Gibbs looked like a fucking dog. He was running all over us, which he did the whole game. But
when y'all went up 10,
yes,
when it was 31-21,
yeah.
But then they scored again.
Well, no. Well, so all right. So we
scored again.
No, we went up 31-21, and then picked Goff in the end zone right before half. They were about to score.
Yes.
And that's when it was like, all right, if we can hold on to this lead, we're good. Because it was about to be a fucking 3-point lead, which is a lot more scary than a 10-point lead going in the second. But
3 picks from Goff. From
Goff, 1 from Jameson Williams.
Which,
what are we doing? Like I told you. I told you. Like this Dan Campbell shit's cool, but the second it goes wrong, it's his ass. It's his ass. It's like, no, this shit works and y'all can do it all season long, but
I guess it could be Ben Johnson's ass.
But well, no. It's not
blame.
Not really, yeah. But I mean to trust your receiver to, I don't know. It's
like the same way. The same way it's like, okay, well, what if Jameson Williams doesn't do that? It's like, well, what if you don't put Marcus Mariota in?
Exactly.
Like what? So it's like
that play was so stupid. You're putting Marcus Mariota in the slot, and then he fakes the sneak, and then tries to pull out and tries to flip it. It's like either go for the sneak or pull out. Like, don't do both.
Yeah, no, I don't really know what that was, but
it was horrible.
But the great thing is that y'all, it didn't matter. It didn't affect you. It did not matter. Some stupid ass play like that was completely forgiven because
negated.
Y'all balled the fuck out.
The pick six was huge. And then they obviously had a chance late in the game to tie it or to win it just because we missed that field goal. They were driving down, could have scored, recovered an onside, and then got another touchdown. But picked them off in the end zone again, undercut the route. I don't think I've ever seen one of our DBs do that. It was gorgeous. It was awesome.
But the obvious conversation is because before this game, I was thinking like, all right, like best QB seasons, rookie QB seasons.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, Andrew Luck, Russ, Big Ben.
Sure.
Let me do some research. Jaden Daniels is having the best rookie season for any quarterback of all time.
It has to be, no?
There's absolutely no question. If you go down the list of the best rookie quarterback seasons, we've already marked it off as he's already surpassed the one that, had probably one of the best on the same team. So
Exactly.
RG3,
Yeah.
we already know.
He
We already know
not
he's
only
surpassed
did he
Bro.
beat every passing thing he had, he beat his rushing record.
You look at Big Ben, 2004. He won O'Roy. He went 13-0, 2,621 yards, 17 touchdowns, 11 picks.
Yeah.
AFC Championship loss to New England.
Sure.
Andrew Luck in 2012.
Yeah.
He went 11-5, 4,374 yards, 23 touchdowns to 18 interceptions.
Yeah.
He was a Pro Bowler, lost in the wild card to the Ravens, who went on to win the Super Bowl, which I don't think anybody's going to win nobody's going to beat the Ravens in Ray Lewis's last home game, but
no,
that
not happening.
That don't matter. Russell Wilson in 2012. He went 11-5, 3,118 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, Pro Bowl, lost in the divisional round. And then you had the man who had his best season was his rookie season. That's Dak Prescott, 2016. 13-3, 3,600 yards, 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, Pro Bowl, Offensive Rookie of the Year, lost in the divisional round.
Yeah.
Devin, none of these teams are, I'm sorry, but are worse on paper than
no
in the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, in terms of who they had around them, 2012 Seahawks, who was Legion of Boom, what the fuck Luck was working with. Honestly, the brain ain't braining, but I know they had veterans on that defense, and I know Ty was still balling. Dak in 2016. It was the 2016 Cowboys. It was fucking Dak and Zeke having their best years, their rookie years. Big Ben in 2004, they won the Super Bowl the year after. So
exactly,
we're looking at a team that was
is a team that
won 4 games.
We won 4 games. We won 4 games last year. We won 4 games last year. Our over under, I think it was 5.5 this year.
I went back and looked. I thought it was 4.5, but 5.5.
4.5, 5.5.
Who cares?
We won 12. No, this is by far. He broke he broke the rushing record. He's got 2 playoff wins. He's got 6 games that he's won in the last drive, I think, something like that.
Something like that.
In the fourth quarter, or whatever, I can't remember.
It feels like all of them.
No, I know. But yeah, it's a pretty sick thing.
And you're now in the NFC Championship game.
But shit, I mean, I would have been happy with a 9-win season, missing the playoffs.
But that's the thing, and it's
but now we're here, and it's like I don't know what to do now, because I want us to do things this year. I want us to do things, but this team is meant to be built for years and years to come. And I think we can do that, but we got to do it the right way. We can't just now. If I'm not gonna get ahead of myself, but if we win, I don't give a shit about what this team does for the next 80 fucking years. Doesn't matter.
We're gonna talk about Eagles Commanders next game, but I'm gonna say this: y'all gonna have to do exactly what y'all did versus Detroit.
Yes.
And that's not give a fuck.
We cannot have pressure.
Y'all cannot.
We walked into Detroit.
Y'all need to have your vacations booked for Super Bowl weekend.
Yes.
Y'all need to book your vacations for Super Bowl weekend just for them to get canceled.
Yes.
Like, that's what y'all need to do.
Yes. Put down security deposits.
Absolutely. Yes. Put them on everything because y'all got to play the Philadelphia Eagles, who ran right through the Rams. And we got to talk about that. And I know I said I was going to stop giving myself credit, but I did say that Saquon's best game this year was 296 total yards versus the Rams, and he absolutely 200 rushing yards against the Rams. And I will give the Rams credit, and this is exactly why I don't cut any slack for the Ravens playing in Buffalo.
Yeah.
LA was playing like they were playing in LA and Philly. And
they're an indoor fucking team.
An indoor team, and they play Arizona twice a year, and all. They
also just snowed in Maryland, so Baltimore.
Yeah,
they had some fucking practice in the snow.
It's LA, and mind you, it's like it's not maybe it's not impacting the actual game, but like some of them like are having like their houses burnt down, so they're probably like not focused on like, let's beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
Let's go to Philly and win a football game. Like it's like, like we might not go home.
I might not have a home. Yeah,
I might I'm saying like there might not be the biggest whatever word I'm looking for, attention to
Sure.
the game. But either way, the Eagles, and I mean, not surprised again.
No, and I applaud them for sticking to what works for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that I honestly the thing I was most scared of was Philly's secondary. Like I think Saquon can have his moments. I'm still not afraid um of the Eagles passing game. So if we can stop Saquon on one drive here or there, doesn't bother me. Um,
You just got to piss AJ Brown off, and then
exactly. You just got to get in his ear, like, yo, Saquon's fucking getting a lot of touches out of here.
bro. But did you see the
Weird, you haven't
one?
gotten the ball yet.
Did you see Saquon before his like 70 whatever yard run?
Where he said, "Watch this."
Dude, looks at
The fuck is that?
watch this.
Yo,
That
he's
was
just trolling people now, dude. It's crazy.
dude. It's like I'm sorry, but if because I'm definitely rocking with Washington, but if y'all do not make it to Super Bowl, I'd love to see Saquon get a ring.
No, for real.
That'd be tough.
This is the ultimate for him.
Give him Super Bowl MVP and whatever. But
yeah, no, we need to score. I think if we can score the way that we did against Detroit, it doesn't really matter what Saquon does. I think we can eliminate him being a factor. He's not scoring 5 touchdowns.
no,
So if we can score and we can put up 35, 30 points, I think we can walk away with this win. But it's going to be tough. Going to be difficult. We split the series earlier in the year, so
split the series. They lost to y'all. Y'all
did we
lost
win in Philly?
I believe. I don't know.
Can't
I
remember.
think so. It feels like when I'm thinking of like y'all winning that game, it felt like y'all were
I
in
think
Philly,
it was in Philly.
but I could be wrong. And in the final game of the divisional round, Houston versus Kansas City.
Cool.
Which kind of like Buffalo, because I didn't really talk about Buffalo, but kind of like Buffalo, I wasn't really impressed
At all.
But the difference is, and I know I'm a broken record, Devin, I don't think Kansas City turned it on.
I'm not sure they're able to. They're able to.
Okay.
But it's weird.
When I was watching,
it's been how many games? 19 games. They haven't turned it on.
Bro, in these 19
Once.
games, besides their one loss to Buffalo, which rematch, we'll see.
Yeah.
They haven't had to turn it on.
I know.
Like we're sitting here watching them, and even versus Houston, I'm sitting here watching them, and they're just scoring, and it's like, okay, they're gonna score, Houston's gonna punt, and that's just how it's gonna go, and they're gonna win. Like it's like it was no.
It's like simple football. There was no interest.
They don't break a sweat. We got Taylor and Caitlin Clark in the damn building. Dude, I don't know what's going on with that.
Just 2 fucking brick-faced 6-foot chicks. Terrible. Terrifying.
All right. I didn't mean to open that can of worms, but yeah.
I don't even know what that means, but
that shocked me. I'm sitting there. I was a little confused, but sure, I guess. I mean, you gotta look. Honestly, I don't know. It is what it is. People are gonna hate, but I will say it's kind of like if like Shane, like an Atlanta fan, right?
Yeah.
Like if like I don't fucking know the Migos, or if like Quavo was like, "Yo, come to the fucking Atlanta game with me." Like I guess it'd be like cool. Because if you are a fan of someone's music and of the team, it'd be a fun experience, I guess. But I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they made Caitlyn drink the blood, and now she's a part of it.
That's the thing.
She's a part of the creepy Taylor Swift world.
Oh well, yeah, Buffalo. I mean, they're going against Kansas City, the refs, Taylor Swift, and Caitlin Clark fans.
Dude.
If I didn't hate the Bills Mafia so much, I would feel bad for them.
Dude,
I'd feel bad for them.
Yeah.
I really would. But they suck, and they deserve every single not spit, but like just
everything
spit-filled, just drunk mess yelling at them because they're gonna do it back at them. It's gonna be a consensual spit mouth brawl.
Nice.
It's
That
okay.
sounds fun.
It's okay. That's look. Just go to a tailgate in Buffalo, and you'll understand it. Everybody will get it. But yeah, Houston
Yeah.
season over. The sophomore slump has come to an end.
Yeah.
I don't know what the junior year is. I don't know if there's a name for that. Hopefully,
No, I mean,
a comeback year.
again, I mean, if your slump is 10 wins and a playoff win, it's not bad. I mean, we've got dudes who are making a lot more money than him, who are expected to be better than him, who aren't doing shit. So,
I mean,
um,
I will say
Trevor
on the
Lawrence and Justin Herbert. So,
a-
yeah, good job, good
absolutely,
job, boys.
yeah, no,
But yeah, it's like give them some flack, not the guys who are just better.
yeah, I will say on the losing resume for Houston and CJ Stroud, their two losses have been to the two teams that represented the AFC at home in the AFC
Exactly,
Championship game. So
exactly.
I don't know, and win or loss, I mean, it is what
Yeah,
it is. But I think Houston they'll recover. But I guess I look. People are talking about this, and maybe I was shocked by how fast it was. I'm not gonna lie, but Ben Johnson.
yeah. Now,
Um,
you know what makes me think though is that those texts that Caleb got, maybe they were real.
well, I know they weren't real because
They
I mean I
FaceTimed
saw.
him.
Oh yeah, they FaceTimed them and all that, but
Yeah,
it is funny that they called it because
but I feel like, yeah, I mean, maybe Ben knew at that point. It's weird that these guys are taking interviews at this time.
yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta look at it. Think about it. Cliff was like, "Look, I'm gonna focus on the playoffs," and you got Ben Johnson out here taking interviews. So
Taking it, like, he took
I
multiple
mean,
interviews.
I don't know what that means, but
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's odd. Um, but yeah,
people
Ben
people
Johnson will be
already
the
people are
guy, of
already going crazy with the hype.
course,
People are already hyping it up. People are like, "Oh, we got the
of
new
course.
duo in Chicago and all this."
But
And
the best thing about, well, and then Caleb's dad posted out like coaching matters, hashtag coaching matters. It's like, fuck off. Shut the fuck up. We have Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn was nothing 2 years
yeah,
ago, so suck my dick.
yeah,
Um, but you know the funniest thing about us being here, about Washington being in the NFC Championship, is that this was the where Caleb was supposed to be.
mm-hmm.
And then everything after week fucking 4 goes out the window. It's like, oh yeah, no, he's a rookie. He's this, he's that. Don't worry about it. He's fucking fine. Get him a better coach. Get him a better team. It's like, now you guys spent the entire offseason building this team, building this coaching staff, building everything about this team. We just threw in a quarterback, a fucking old running back who everyone said was broken, and an
Yep.
old ass fucking linebacker, and that was it. Yeah, fuck Caleb, fuck Ben Johnson. I mean, this is gonna show us kind of who the Lions are and where the Lions' genius comes from a little bit. But
Now, okay, I do think obviously it's going to help the Bears.
yes,
Like, yes, will they look better offensively next season compared to last year? I think so.
yeah,
But there's a couple things. A, this is not this is not the Lions offense.
no,
You don't have all the weapons that you had in Detroit now. So you're working with a completely different lineup.
and you don't have anywhere near the same line. So
And you also have a roster of players who aren't coached under Dan Campbell. And
yes,
obviously, that was a coach who had the entire locker room behind him.
yes, yes,
And they just played with a different type of
intensity.
yeah,
Yeah,
they just had a different vibe to them that Ben
yeah,
Johnson
yeah.
can
Like how good of a leader is Ben Johnson?
yeah, it's
I don't,
like
I don't think we've I haven't seen him talk. I know he runs a good offense, but I don't know.
yeah,
I
it's
don't know
like
anything
but
about him.
as of right now, it's like no, Mike McDonald he schemed great defensively with Baltimore, but can he
Can he
passionately
lead? Yeah,
lead a Seattle team as a head
yeah.
coach? I don't know. I don't know.
Like Dan Quinn can relinquish some of his power to the other guys, to Cliff and our DC, and
Oh
he can
well,
go lead this team.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Cliff is like getting all of the glory. It's
Exactly.
because we know. There's a reason why everybody's calling Todd Monken right now. It's because
Exactly.
John
Well,
Harbaugh ain't.
Lamar should get all the glory because trying to take someone who does well with Lamar and then transplanting that into another team is difficult because no one can do what Lamar can do.
Yeah, but even statistically, I mean, Todd Monken coached one of the greatest statistic teams or statistic offenses just multiple seasons.
Sure.
Um, but
But
Ben Johnson is a new Chicago Bears head coach. We won't have to talk about them looking for a head coach anymore, which means there's still a lot of opening spots, but I
it's
guess
weird that I mean, I was gonna say it's weird they didn't wait on Cliff, but I think someone else would have snagged up Ben Johnson if the Bears hadn't.
yeah, yeah, well,
And
yeah,
there's no saying that Cliff is gonna leave.
and also, and not to harp on Dion anymore than we have, but I mean, I thought Dallas was trying to get their head coach quick. It's almost like they're waiting
Yeah.
for a team to lose to, maybe hire them instead. But that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong and crazy for thinking Dion doesn't deserve the position as head coach for the Dallas Cowboys next year. But let's move on to something else that I wanted to talk about with you, Devin, and that's quarterbacks. Quarterbacks on the hot seat
Uh-oh.
going into
We did
next.
coaches.
We did coaches. We've talked coaches. We talked about them mid-season. We talked about
How
them
many
in the year.
coaches?
On the hot seat, or did we get right?
We got a few right.
Well,
Pierce, McCarthy.
I mean, Pierce and McCarthy. See, but I would say like we said Dabble probably is staying.
No, we said Dabble staying. Yeah.
And as of right now, it
Still
seems
there.
like he's staying. Now Doug Peterson, we were iffy on, but we expected.
Yep.
Antonio Pierce, yeah. Who else you say?
McCarthy.
McCarthy, expected. But there are some quarterbacks. And the first quarterback on this list is a big one for you, and that's Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And I guess the question is Kyler Murray on the hot seat going in the next season?
To me, this feels. Forget what I would have compared it to last week, but it feels like there should be a mutual parting. Tomlin and the Steelers. Like this feels like the Cardinals aren't a good fit for Kyler. There doesn't seem to be much else left there for him, and the Cardinals need to go in a completely different direction with a coach and a team and a lot of different things.
Well, see, that's the thing. He's got a bag in Arizona and is still under contract till like 2028. I think. And then obviously with the Jonathan Gannon thing, I think he probably gets fired, and then another year passes before Kyler Murray is let go. Now, is he on the hot seat? I think if he gives a full healthy season, and we're sitting in the same position, or Arizona's sitting in the same position next off season. Yeah, because I'd say Gannon's probably fired, and this will probably be the last time you can bring in somebody else and say that they're going to fix the issue. They were, the last coach was the issue, and
for
this
sure
is who you'll be able to bring in. But I think in terms of this off season, I'd say this seat's a little lukewarm, just a little bit.
Now, I think this season it depends on if the Cardinals do anything, if they go out and they acquire some people, if they draft well, if they do things, then it's like Kyler stepped the fuck up, and if he doesn't perform, it's on him.
And I think they want another year of him and Marvin.
Yes.
And with that experiment.
Yeah, no, give them a better line, a better defense, another weapon.
And the West is winnable. So I mean,
very.
It's not like the NFC West is it's out of reach.
It was winnable this year when they were terrible.
Absolutely. This quarterback, who I didn't even consider putting on this list, but I saw a lot of other people put him on here, is because I didn't even really consider him a lock for being a starter next year.
Being a starter?
And that's Derek Carr.
He's on a He's on probably one of the hotter seats for a
He's
dude
on
who
a
started this
stove.
year.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. He's on a stovetop.
He is on a gas stove
Like
at full heat.
100%. I don't
And
know if
he's made
he's
out of newspaper.
I don't know if he ever was the answer or savior. Remember he said there's only one savior and it's not Derek
And
Carr.
it's not him,
But he also
but
ran
it's
his
Jesus
mouth.
Christ.
He ran his mouth some more. Apparently he made a comment. He already said that he will not take a pay cut. And
Yeah,
The Saints are like 50 million over right now.
yeah.
He said he's willing to restructure, but he said, "Why would I take a pay cut? Look at my tape." Was his quote. That was a
Look at my
Derek Carr
tape.
quote. Look at my tape. That was a Derek Carr. Derek Carr's got some quotables. He's got some
No, he's
quotables.
got some
Look at my
real
tape.
quotables, bro.
Buddy went 5-5 this year, played like
Said, look
absolute
at my
dog
tape.
shit. He said, "Look at my tape. Why would I take a pay cut? Why would I
It's
take a pay
awesome.
cut? Look at
It's
my
a power
tape."
move, dude.
To me, that's like, guys, this is the best you're fucking getting out of me, and this is the most I'm ever getting. So there's no
Yeah,
way I'm taking a pay cut.
exactly.
We can restructure, and y'all can. I'll stick around a little bit longer, but
Yeah.
as long as
I'll,
Taysom
I'll
Hill
be a
still got
shit take back up, yeah.
as long as Taysom still got a locker in this damn facility, I'm getting
I'll be
paid.
here, yeah.
But
What a sad
absolutely,
organization they are. Because, I mean, yeah, no, they weren't expected to do anything with Derek, with Spencer, with anything. Maybe they had a little bit of hope before last season. Not much. They had a little
yeah.
bit of hope after 2 games this season, but not
After
really.
beating the Ravens,
They
after
won
beating
2 games,
the
and it was
Ravens.
like, holy shit, they got it going on.
But yeah, no, I'd say absolutely one of the hottest seats possible.
Yeah,
And
I
he's
think it's the hottest.
like 30. He's old. He's old. He's
Probably
old.
close to
He's like
35,
33,
36.
30. Yeah, he's up there. 34, 34, 35. Yeah, he's mid 30s.
Yeah,
Bro is old.
yeah,
Anthony Richardson.
yeah. I mean, if he has a like at least half a season or more than half a season completely healthy and looks just as bad as he has, I think I'm not sure they'll do anything. Um, but yeah, there's going to be some questions about his performance.
I would say if you could play a full season healthy and you're not able to produce what Joe Flacco and Gardner Minshew
Yeah,
were able to produce,
yeah,
then for sure you're absolutely on the hot seat. I would say he's on the hot seat he's the only quarterback that's on the hot seat for this reason,
hmm
and it's the injury reason.
yeah.
I mean, we
Hasn't played enough.
truly do not know what a full season of Anthony Richardson, especially in the NFL, would look like.
But
I
here's
mean,
the thing: maybe we
I
never
have
see
no
one.
clue.
Maybe this is like
We,
Zion, and we never see one.
I mean, it might be like an RG3, like after minus that rookie year. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
what like
Now,
there's a whole bunch of what could have beens.
I mean, but it's like even if he is healthy a full season,
Hmm.
how much do we really expect out of him in terms of winning?
If Anthony Richardson could stay healthy and play the way somebody built like Anthony Richardson can play
Can play,
and should play,
yes.
I mean, close to a prime Cam Newton.
Yeah, if he had the quarterback ability of Cam Newton, which he
I mean,
does not.
well, we're not going to sit here and pretend like Cam Newton was the most accurate fucking quarterback in the world.
No, of course not. But he knew how to fucking run an offense and
Sure,
win football games.
sure, because he was healthy and he
Yeah,
played.
no, but I'm not. I truly do not think that Anthony Richardson is a healthy full season away from a prime Cam Newton. I think in a perfect world with his body type and the way that he can play, sure. But
And what's stopping him from doing that?
from what?
From
Having a full season or being
playing at his
Cam
max
Newton
potential,
level?
from playing at his max potential.
Well, injuries, but also I don't think his potential is Like Anthony Richardson himself, his potential is not MVP Cam Newton. Like you said, if it's his body type, sure. But from what we've seen from Anthony Richardson, he hasn't really shown that he can do that.
The reason I said body type is because if he stays healthy, that is an unstoppable force.
Sure.
If he stays healthy,
yes,
that man cannot be stopped.
But again, I mean, you have to look back at who Cam was. He was a national champion. He was a Heisman winner. He was a winner. And then he won in the pros as well.
I think if Anthony Richardson stayed around, he won some regular season games. I think if Anthony Richardson stuck around in Florida, maybe got a little more experience. Sure. At the same time, don't really know how much higher his stock would have went up if he would have just kept getting hurt in college.
Yeah, I know. I think his stock would have went down. His stock was already very high to begin with.
Either way, we can argue where the ceiling stops. We can agree that it could be somewhere in the middle of bust and close to MVP Cam. You know? Yeah. Because when I say MVP Cam, I don't mean he's going 15-1 and he's fucking dominating me.
But no, I think his potential in terms of a non-injured quarterback can be a solid starter in the league, especially for the Colts. But
if he's healthy and you got a good team around him, and honestly, and I know we gave him flack on this, but it's like there had to be something more to that him pulling himself out.
They had to, yeah, for sure.
Like you don't pull yourself out of a game on a team that you care about.
And I don't think that was like a not caring issue or like a disrespect issue. It felt more like a, I don't know, like
it was like Colts inside source. They were like during that time and when he got benched, it was like Anthony Richardson was drowning. Like that was the quote. It was like he was, and it's like, but it's like there could be a world where it's like there is so much pressure on him in terms of like he can't even get out on the field healthy.
Yeah.
It's like there might be a world where it's kind of like not like Sam Darnold seeing ghosts, but almost like all right, am I gonna drop back and if I want to roll out, but am I gonna roll out and get concussed because I'm a slide and then it's like you might
it's like, I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He did run the ball 3 or 4 straight times before he did tap himself out. Now, granted, you don't tap yourself out, but I mean, how often should he have to scramble and do those things? But I don't know. It's a weird situation with him just being a quarterback for the Colts who can kind of stay healthy for a few games and then not. And I don't know. I don't know what I expect.
Geno Smith.
That's so weird.
Well, I mean, he's 35.
I think it's hard if they really want a different quarterback.
Well, he's on his last year on his contract.
Yeah.
He's 35.
You don't re-up him.
You're not gonna blame Mike McDonald. They better not blame Mike.
They better not blame Mike McDonald.
If they fucking extend Geno after like a half decent year, but they don't like play well and they fucking move on from Mike McDonald or blame him, they're setting.
If they move on from Mike McDonald and then extend Geno Smith,
they're setting themselves.
Got to be the dumbest thing
ever. I'd say absolutely with somebody who I think is maybe a little bit more of the answer than Derek Carr was. Because he's one really historic quote away from being the Geno Smith we knew. Because I really don't care about that one season. It's like that one season was that one season.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is.
But it's also like if you can find other options for quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, go do it because you're wasting DK's career. You're wasting the rest of these guys on this team. There's talented dudes out there.
Oh yeah.
Kenneth is talented. You're wasting the final years of Tyler Lockett.
Oh yeah.
It's like I get that Geno has done well, and we talk about this all the time. It's like cool, comeback player of the year. It's great that you've had a resurgence, but if you can go out and get a better quarterback, go do it.
How about Tua?
Dude, I don't know. I think it should be hot. It should be very hot.
Devin,
but every time Mike McDaniel speaks, it's like I love Tua. I love everything about him.
Fuck him, because he's about to go too.
I know.
Because if
his
he
ass
goes
is about to be out of
bro, any quarterback that ask any person off the street, give them 20 slots, give them top 20, tell them, hey, who's the top 20 quarterbacks in the NFL? A, none of them are putting Tua. B, all 20 of them are murdering with that offense.
Yes.
Destroying. With that fucking, it's just Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and Devin. It's just the fastest offense in NFL history.
Ever.
It's just there's nothing there's absolutely nothing Tua can fucking do.
Yeah.
I feel like, and maybe I don't know if you felt different, but ever since he came into the NFL, I mean, we did the audio. We were doing like audio pod back then, so I remember talking about it, but it's like he was never a guy. Like it was never like the whole time Tua's been in Miami. It's kind of felt like a joke.
Yes,
and I mean that in the least disrespectful way. Like I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it just has felt like.
I mean, he came in. It was after Fitzmagic? No.
Yeah.
It was after Fitzmagic's pretty decent season with him, I think. Can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, had some shitty seasons in there, and then starts getting injured. I mean, gets Tyreek Hill, gets all this shit, and it's like it elevated the Dolphins. But like we talk about it with a lot of teams, your ceiling's only so high with a quarterback like him, and it's like you could go out and draft other guys and who can play better with a Tyreek and a Waddle and all these fucking guys.
I mean, and never mind the fact that we're another headshot away from Tua being back like in concussion protocol.
No, yeah,
exactly. I mean, like this is I mean, that's still a serious problem. Like,
yes,
if it happens again,
yes,
he's out. There's no way it's gonna happen a third time.
It's crazy that like every single time it's like, well, what does Tua want to do? It's like someone's got to.
It's like it's like find a guy, find someone strung out on the street on meth and ask them what they want to do. Probably some meth.
Exactly.
I mean, that's probably what they want to do.
No, exactly.
So the hot seat, because here's the thing: Tyreek wants to leave. Sit him down and ask him why he wants to leave. Top 3 reasons. If any of those top 3 reasons is because of the quarterback,
because of Tua, Tua's got to go.
Bro,
go find a better quarterback.
I mean, come on.
But it's like, I think once Mike leaves, I think he has done so much caping for Tua that once he's gone, no NFL coach in their right mind is going to come in and be like Tyreek Hill. It's like, it's the best quarterback I've ever played with. It's like, you're lying. It's going to be
the first thing. When a new head coach comes to Miami, if Mike McDonald gets fired before Tua is no longer a Dolphin, that's the first thing that's happening is Tua will be replaced if a new head coach came in.
Yeah.
It's the first thing.
Because that's the number one issue.
With all of that being said,
with that talented team.
He's absolutely on the hot seat.
Yes.
And then my last quarterback I got is and I'm gonna say this before I even say his name, and maybe you'll even know who I'm talking about. But the question is, if he's not on the hot seat, or the reason I'm putting him on the hot seat is because I don't like how many more years are we gonna do this with this quarterback? And it's Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
So I get it. He just got paid again, and he's the
highest paid quarterback in the league, and
he's gonna be coming back from injury and all that. But Devin, we're almost on a decade away from his best season.
Yeah,
his rookie year,
his first season,
his best year.
God, I really hope we're not saying this. I really hope we're not saying this about Jaden Daniels.
Dude, when I was making this
I'll
list
cry,
earlier,
dude. I'll cry so much.
Part of me, I was like, damn. I was like, what if like Jaden Daniels is?
Well, it's crazy just because like of how harsh we are on Dak and how harsh we've been on CJ, and it's like he hasn't really played that fucking bad. But it's like when you put out those expectations early in your career, you kind of got to live up to them and then exceed them.
Yeah, but if Jaden Daniels was doing this for the Cowboys,
different.
We wouldn't be able to turn him. We wouldn't be able to blink without hearing about how good Jaden Daniels is.
Exactly.
And he's done way more with less than what Dak did in 2016.
For sure.
I'd say if Jaden Daniels went on a run for the next 10 years like Dak did, it would be the biggest historic flop in the history. Like,
Yes.
there's no way. Like,
No,
it
I
would
know.
have to
Like,
be
but
like,
it's just like the attributes that we see out of him. It's not shocking that he's playing this well.
and I mean, Dak Prescott was drafted when he was drafted for a reason, and
Yes.
he's getting paid by who he's getting paid, and we believe by that. We believe. I feel like we all believe he wouldn't get this money out of any other owner.
No, we all know that.
Yeah, we know. I don't want to speak for everybody, but sure, we
Yeah,
all
yeah.
know
No,
he wouldn't get any.
we know that
He wouldn't be getting
wholeheartedly.
this type of money from any other owner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just in today's day, if a fourth round quarterback
Yeah.
had one good season, which was their rookie year, and spent the next 5 years playing like shit and or losing in the playoffs, I feel like they would have already been out of here.
They would be gone and they would not be making $60 million a year. So, I mean, Dallas seems like just separate from the NFL. They do their own thing, and I don't really give a shit what they do. I mean, they're not going to win. They're not impressive. Um, so yeah, they can pay whoever they want, but their market of the way that they pay players is separate from the rest of like a quarterback market.
And it's like, okay, they're gonna bring in a new coach, so obviously he's not on the hot seat this year. But then
Yeah,
if it
unless
happens,
it's a former player.
if this shit happens again, and
Yeah,
we're having conversations about them needing a new head coach, whatever, it's like maybe we need to get rid of Dak Prescott.
exactly. It's like how many head coaches are you gonna plow through? How many fucking OCs and this and that and receivers and all that?
So I don't think he's on the hot seat because like he's not, but he
Well, I
should be.
mean, anywhere else, yeah, he should be. Yeah, he's
Anywhere
not,
else
but
he
he should
would
be.
be. Anywhere else he would have been.
Anywhere, yeah, he would be gone.
Anywhere else he wouldn't have been paid after tearing his leg apart. Like there's just
Exactly.
no.
Yeah, what? How do you get injured and then you get paid
I,
immediately?
I
Twice.
don't know, but yeah, I'd say put him on the hot seat. All right. Before we play a little bit of guess the athlete, I got one athlete for us who is set to get a big old bag potentially.
You think you could guess athletes by their toes?
LeBron.
That's all I got.
The nasty, like, remember that nasty picture back in the
The
day where it was
rollover,
just
dude. Yeah.
which I hope, like, and I don't care, but like for the sake of just him and just like people who got to see that in the crib, it's like I hope he had that fixed. Like maybe
No, he did not.
you don't think so?
No, no, I know it because I
I'm.
watched a little bit of that starting five Netflix documentary.
Why do you know that? I'm gonna say it.
No, I watched some of the Netflix starting five documentary. His toe was out. He's getting a massage. Foot,
All
toe
right,
over.
yeah, no,
Toe hang.
I don't need to see that. I'm
He
good.
should wear his socks, but I
I'm,
doubt he does.
yeah, I'm good on that. But we're talking about Tee Higgins.
Heat
Uh,
Higgins.
we're talking about Heat Higgins, Devin. He's obviously probably the most sought after. What? Help me with my grammar. Help me
One
with,
of the most
what is it? One of the most,
one of the more sought out free agents.
one of the more sought out free
Sought
agents.
after. Sought
See, you're doing it too. Is it
sought
out or
in.
is it after or out? I don't know. Motherfuckers want him. People want him. People want Tee Higgins, Devin.
Men want to be him. Women want to.
Be with him. I guess is that the look. Let's talk about landing spots for Tee Higgins.
Yes.
I got some teams for you.
Washington.
The first team on here has the most, or if not one of the highest amounts of cap space going in the offseason, and that's the
Patriots.
New England Patriots.
Yeah.
$132 million in cap space.
I think they have the most.
The biggest thing with this is it's like you're probably getting the biggest bag with them. Now, and that's if they decide to drop that bag. I don't know if they decide to drop
Yeah, I
the
mean
bag.
they're kind of really bad, so they kind of got to get a lot of players.
Well, they got hope in May, but I look
Yeah,
at it like there's a lot of other teams we're going to talk about. So if we're talking about just who's throwing me the football, if I had to just compare to like who I'm catching balls from now, which is Joe Burrow, it's like would I take money and just catching balls from Drake May? I don't know.
I think he would.
Eh,
I mean,
Maybe.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's the Mike Evans, the Godwins, a few other guys. Seems like a lot of other guys are out there for a bag. And if the Cowboys didn't pay their players so outrageously good, I don't think they would all stay.
No,
Like, I think
I,
that's why they
I'm
have to pay them so much.
I'm fully convinced the Cowboys absolutely have no interest in winning and just want to continue to raise the market for every position.
Yeah,
That's all they do is
they're
just
just
raise
screwing
the
every
market.
other owner for fun.
It's because they can. I mean, they just don't. They don't care.
Yeah.
New
We
England,
say
I'd
they like
say
it's a bunch of people. It's Jerry.
Jerry Jones. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jerry don't care. New England, I'd say money wise, obviously, but then you look at a team like Washington,
Yeah.
who I think is now they became a wide receiver destination. They became wide receiver
Yeah,
hub.
it's just nice. It's
This
nice that
is
there's gonna be some people who want to play.
and why would you not? And from what I've seen, they're going to have the cap space. Why would you not want to play with Jaden Daniels? Play
With
next to
Terry.
Terry. I mean, it's just. I mean, you. It's you're not just getting a bag, but you are also maybe one of the pieces that makes this offense even more lethal.
Yeah.
It's like you are part of a very lethal offense in Cincinnati, but you could be
Yeah.
a part of a lethal offense in Washington with an even bigger bag, opposed to New England
Exactly.
where maybe you win 8 games,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you might have to go to Washington with the big dogs and win yourself 12 games.
Exactly.
Devin, you might just have to go to Washington. Another team who, if I do get a chance to sit down and talk to him, I probably got to lock the door and do not let him out before before the papers are signed. And it's the Chargers.
Yes.
Because the Chargers, God, dude, if there's one team that's going to be calling for any possible trade,
They're calling for every receiver.
Tyreek
They're saying
Hill.
we will give you fucking
I'm
12
telling you,
strippers in a boat
Bills
for free.
Chiefs. It's either D Hop or Amari Cooper's phone is going to be off the. It's just be blowing up by the Chargers.
Like
One or the
seconds
other.
after.
I mean
Jim Harbaugh should go to that game.
Jim Harbaugh is going to be waiting for one of those receivers after
In the tunnel. Yes.
Talk to you. It's absolutely going to happen. So I would say, out of all these teams that I'm gonna bring up some more, but I'd say right now, that's probably like the most in terms of like needing a receiver, can pay him, would play with a quarterback like up to par with. It's not going to a Drake May. I mean, now Burrow, Herbert, wherever you want to put the two,
Sure.
still ballpark.
Sure.
Denver, which
there would have to be a good amount of money.
I was gonna say, what I saw was they have the cap to do it, but it's kind of like like the push for him to go to Washington. It's like a mid version for Denver.
Yes.
Like you get to go with this, you can go play with this promising rookie.
Yes.
But you go in there, it's not making the offense as lethal. I think there's still a little bit more to work on with Denver. There's still a little bit more work in progress, and obviously, just in fact, in terms of just their rookie quarterback still having rookie quarterback moments.
Yeah.
I don't know if that really catches the eye. It's probably more in the Drake May area of quarterbacks I'd want to play with.
For sure.
If I'm Tee Higgins. Now, you got a team who will have the cap space and their wide receiver guru of head coach, Mike Tomlin. And it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously, who we know Mike Tomlin.
Do you stay in the division?
We know Mike Tomlin is staying in Pittsburgh because the Bears called and tried to make a trade for Mike Tomlin.
They did.
A couple of days ago, and the Steelers said absolutely not. It's not happening.
How's it feel for Ben Johnson?
Go wait for the damn Lions, which is kind of interesting because, it's not.
It's really not that bad, but it's whatever.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, no, it's like, oh man, you guys wanted Mike Tomlin, and I was
I was fuck you guys, goddamn it.
It's like you can't be too mad. And also the Steelers, and I got reminded of this while doing some research for this. Steelers had a trade for Ayuk. They were trying to make a move for. Remember when Ayuk was in talks and for every single team, and the Steelers there was a trade ready.
Damn.
And it just didn't go through. So they're obviously going to be looking for a receiver this offseason.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of dropping a bag and the
Yeah.
bag that Tee Higgins is looking for, I'd say that's probably not going to happen.
No.
But it's definitely maybe a phone call. Maybe a phone call.
For sure. Has
Uh,
there ever been a head coach traded?
it's a good question. Probably.
Maybe. Maybe in like the
Probably.
60s. Do you have the Bears on the list at all?
No. I definitely don't have the Bears on the list.
The Bears are going to be calling, but I don't think he'll go there.
I have the Rams on the list. The reason I have the Rams on the list, they will become a bigger possibility if they cannot keep Cooper Kupp. I saw that Cooper Kupp obviously said that he has a lot left.
He said it wasn't up to him.
He says he has a lot left football to play, and he would love to play in LA, but it ain't up to him. Which means he's gonna be testing the water. That's what that means. I'm sorry. I don't
For
care.
sure.
I don't care
if
because there's no way the Rams aren't like. I mean, like you can play for us if you want. Like they're obviously like we'd love to have you back, but Cooper's gonna go see. He's gonna go answer some phone calls. Maybe.
Well, yeah, and I think it's a situation where it's like if the money is really really good somewhere else, then he might take it. But if they're offering similar things to the Rams and it's a few mil here and there, he'll probably stay. I think the Rams definitely would love to have him.
I don't think it's like I said, I don't think it's a situation where he's sitting there.
No one's like, yeah, get out of here. We got Puka. We're good.
Yeah, no, it's like we want you.
You're still good.
We still want you. And it's like you can take a back seat because Puka's balling. But if they cannot, if they can't keep him, Tee Higgins and Puka, man, you can't be mad at that.
And now, if you can't keep him and you can't get anybody else, Puka's playing well enough. He's played well enough by himself as well. Maybe they can grab just a mid-level receiver, but like a Hollywood Brown.
And then the final team, it's Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
It's Cincinnati because
Jamar.
Look, here's the thing: if you're making less money, but you still have a chance to go on a Super Bowl run. Maybe you've already tasted that Super Bowl run. Like you've already, there's so much more that this offense can do. You might be able to risk however many millions of dollars, or you're still gonna get paid millions of dollars to play football, and you know what you can do there. You know what y'all can still do. I'm sure if they were able to keep Tee Higgins on some type of team-friendly deal, obviously you're going to pay the man, but some type of team-friendly deal, they can make more additions and just get better. But I still think out of all these players we've talked about in landing spots, this might be the one that's closer to like more likely to return. Or let me say I'm like 50-50 on like wouldn't be surprised if he left, wouldn't be surprised if he stayed.
Yeah, but
if that makes sense.
He's one of the players where it's like, no, you gotta, like, you have a Ferrari at home.
Yeah.
There might be a different car that you like better somewhere else, but the car at home is pretty nice.
Car at home is pretty nice, and
like,
now
you have one of those fridges with like a TV in it.
Yeah,
you're doing all right.
Never really made sense to me because, like,
how long you standing? And maybe it's for fatties.
Yeah, and also whenever I try to eat and watch TV, I finish before like the first commercial hits. So
I'm just scrolling through my phone.
I guess it's kind of smart because you eat quick, and we're moving off topic. Tee Higgins. Out of all these teams though that we named, because I'm 50-50, I'll put Cincinnati as one, and I'll give another one, and I'll say Chargers. Chargers need it the most.
Yeah.
Chargers have.
Jim's got pull.
Crazy pull. I mean, bro, I'd rather kick it with Jim Harbaugh than fucking Zach Taylor. I'm sorry.
All day.
All fucking day. I'd rather kick it with him than Zach Taylor. So I'd say staying in Cincy if that's the moves. But if he had to go on the move, I'd say the Chargers.
Yeah. I mean, for him, yeah, I would expect him to go to. I think if he doesn't stay, then he'll go to the Chargers. But I think for him, I think he would enjoy his time a little bit more in a place like Washington or somewhere else.
You're funny as shit, bro.
I'm just saying. It's like
funny as
I'm just saying.
Because even if that wasn't intentional, even if that wasn't, it was like I think he'll have fun. Like teams like Washington.
I think he will. I think when you go to, like, if you stay, there's not a whole lot of pressure on you. The pressure's on Joe. It's on Zach. It's on Jamar. It's on that defense. It's not. You're a number 2 receiver on a really good team. It's not really
For
that much.
sure.
You go to the Chargers. You go to the Chargers. You're holding up a franchise. You're that dude. You got to be that guy. You got to be the one to catch every pass. You are the savior of this. You are the first receiver that they've had in a few years. It's pretty good.
Absolutely. I think
we'll see.
Yeah, you're right. Chargers, you're gonna have to be that dude. Denver, New England, you're not getting that great of a ball thrown to you compared to some of these other teams. You're gonna go through hell playing with Pittsburgh.
Fuck yeah. You're gonna turn into a crash.
You could have some fun in Washington. You could definitely have some fun in Washington.
Or stay. I don't care.
Or stay. You could stay and have fun in Cincinnati. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Devin, it's time. It's time for some guess the athletes.
Uh-oh.
Time for you to guess some athletes. I'm gonna give you some facts. You're gonna give me some guesses, and I'm gonna tell you if you're right or not. Start with the first person. This first player played for 5 different NFL teams. Is listed as a superhero by Marvel. In the Marvel universe, is listed as a superhero.
Him himself.
So like it's super blank. Like it's the football player, but in superhero form. They're dyslexic.
Okay. I don't know how to read it either, so.
Dyslexic. Marvel superhero. 5.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure how many people I've met who are like, yeah, I've never had any dyslexia in my life. You know.
Oh, dyslexia is definitely like everybody's got a hint of it. Not to take away from people that have.
Like you're telling me one time you haven't looked at a piece of paper and been like, how do you do a D and a B? Like. You got it every time you're telling me?
Oh, dude, and when people wrote in cursive, everybody had dyslexia.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody had it. But not belittling people that
I'm not belittling dyslexia. Also, when it's like, people are like, I have anxiety, it's like, tell me who doesn't.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It's like, who's not anxious? It's like, I think we're all feeling some.
Or like, who doesn't have ADHD in fucking 2025?
What do you sit here like this?
So, I can't sit still. It's like
I'm super focused all the time. It's like, yeah, what are you, Elon Musk? I don't know. I don't know anything about the brain, but first thought, honey badger.
Okay. That's not right.
Well, all right, let me think.
You thought it was super honey badger in Marvel?
I mean, there's Super Cam. He didn't play for 5 teams, though.
This quarterback was the only quarterback to win a playoff team drafted by this franchise.
To win a playoff game?
So this franchise, they've only drafted one quarterback that won them a playoff game, and it's this one. Got you thinking. If I gave you the team, I'd probably give it away.
Yeah, for sure.
So I wanted to hold on because this is an interesting fact. I learned this.
So
today.
I'm trying to look for a team with one.
They've only drafted. No.
From a drafted quarterback.
They've only had one quarterback they drafted that won a playoff game. There's teams that might pick up players or maybe swap at the draft.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, let me know when you want that 5th and final. 5th and final, I mean.
Yeah, 5th and final. I don't know.
5th and final, you gotta get it. So I mean, I'm almost want to hold off. Like, do you have an idea? Is
You said
anything?
swap a pick, and I
I
got
mean,
confused.
maybe you were gonna go somewhere else, and then at draft they had to say like, "Oh, never mind, you're gonna go here instead." But you weren't technically drafted there, but you played there, so you were technically a quarterback who won playoff games there, but you didn't get drafted there, so you can't be listed in that category. You know,
What?
you need the fifth and final.
Yeah.
First underclassman to win the Heisman. It's the only quarterback Denver's drafted to win a playoff game.
I got it before you said that one. You're throwing Tim at me?
I'm throwing Tim at
You're
you,
throwing
Devin.
Tim. You're throwing the. I was thinking of teams and like amount of teams, and then does Jacksonville count?
I counted Jacksonville, yeah. Well, because
Okay.
when I did it, it said 4 and they were counting Philly, so I was like, no, I'm gonna add Jackson. If we're counting
Yeah.
Philly, we're gonna count Jacksonville.
We're counting P Squad. Yeah.
Well, and also it's like, how could I give you 5 Tim Tebow facts without you knowing exactly
Yeah,
right away?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
I threw that
Who
in.
circumcises little Filipino boys?
But he does, yeah, no, he's listed as a superhero. He's the only drafted quarterback by Denver to win a playoff
Was
game.
Elway not drafted?
Baltimore. He said, remember, he said, I'm not playing for Baltimore.
You are right.
I ain't playing for the fuck do I look like? I ain't playing for
Brock
them.
never won a playoff game.
And then obviously you had like the Peyton run or whatever, but it's like, either way, yes, it was Tim Tebow.
Wow.
This next player, they have the record for the most forced fumbles in a season with 10. They've played for 2 different teams and has lost the Super Bowl on both of them. So season high in forced fumbles with 10. That's a record. And he's played for 2 different teams his career, and then for both those teams, he lost a Super Bowl.
So he's lost 2 Super Bowls.
He's lost 2 Super Bowls for 2 different teams.
Oh, I'm trying to think of Super Bowl losers now. Forced fumbles, nuts.
He's only played in the NFC.
Okay. What the heck? NFC. Fuck me.
I will throw in one that there's one that will give it away, so I'll give a clue to it instead. He did have a popular nickname. He was more of a guy who had an infamous nickname, opposed to just going by his regular name. Even though he would go by his regular name, but he did have a nickname that stuck.
Richard Sherman?
No, not Richard Sherman.
It's a terrible guess.
It's not a terrible guess. You're on somewhat of a right track. Maybe the right
Bobby
side.
Wagner?
Maybe the right side of the ball.
Yeah, it's definitely a defensive player. There's 10 forced fumbles, so I was really hoping I was going to get that one right.
This player retired and became an FBI agent.
Damn, I wish that gave it away.
I'm glad.
Who the fuck's an FBI agent?
I'm glad it didn't give it away.
Huh.
You need the nickname?
No.
You might need it.
Is he black? I'm trying to knock down, trying to figure out who it is, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't help.
No, I knew it wouldn't, so so yeah.
I eliminated JJ Watt, which I eliminated about 5 guesses ago.
Let me know when you need that fifth and final.
I'll take the fifth and final.
Nickname is Peanut.
Charles Tillman.
Charles Tillman.
Damn, I would not have gotten that.
He's an FBI agent.
He is an FBI agent. You're right.
He is an FBI agent.
If I were to think of I would have had two other Panthers ahead of him.
Who are you thinking?
I'm saying if you were like he played for the Panthers, that would have been like
yeah. So
Thomas Davis. But what's his nuts never played. Kuechly never left. I don't even know if Thomas Davis ever played anywhere else.
Saints. I might be wrong. I don't know.
Maybe. Where else did
Bears?
Gotcha.
That's where he dominated with the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
But then was there in 06, and then,
I forgot the Bears went to a Super Bowl.
I forgot he was on that Panthers team, the Super 50 team, and then I was like, oh shit, he played for them. All right, this last player, he is in the top 15 all-time passing yards. So he's a top 15 all-time passing yard leader. He's played for 7 different teams. He has the most losses by a starting quarterback in NFL history.
Wow. Holy shit, 7 teams.
Top 15 in passing yards.
Of all time.
Played for 7 different teams.
I mean, you think about the top 10. I'm going to be honest. I'm taking a stretch. Big one. I know this guy played for a lot of teams. Vinny Testaverde.
It's Vinny Testaverde. Wow.
Come on. That's a name that stuck around for a while.
Wow.
He was never on a good team.
Wow.
He was on a Ravens team. He was on the Jets. He was bouncing.
Yeah, the other two were he was a franchise's first starting quarterback.
Yeah.
So he was Baltimore's first quarterback
ever.
And he won the Heisman.
Which I honestly didn't know that.
But yeah, it was Vinny Testaverde. That was earliest. I think that was the earliest one so far.
That's by far the earliest I've ever got one.
That was off of the first 3.
I mean, the way I broke that, it was like, who the fuck's in the top 15 who could have played for 7 teams? It's like all those dudes played for 4 teams max.
Top 10 is too easy because like top 10 is pretty solidified, but next 5.
The next 5, yes.
It's like, God damn, Warren Moon.
But then it's like 7 teams. Like, there's not a lot of guys who play for 7 teams and play quarterback fairly well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vinny Testaverde has been around.
I think I had a 96 Vinny Testaverde card with the old logo.
I was gonna say
on the shoulder.
I thought I had one back there, but
yeah.
Vinny has been around. Vinny has played for a lot of different teams. Vinny, actually, I wish I could have put this on there, but Tom Brady broke the record. He, at one point, had the most touchdown passes to different players.
Oh, really?
70 different players he's thrown a touchdown
to.
Holy
shit.
So he's second, but still a lot of damn different players.
Yeah.
All right. We talked about a lot. We gave the Ravens a farewell. Yep. We gave the Washington a hello to the NFC Championship.
A hail to the.
A hail to the. Houston, Kansas City, LA versus Philly. Bears got a new head coach. Tee Higgins. QB's on the hot seat. Guessing some athletes. Devan, is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Go Skins. This is it's pretty dope. But now I'm kind of expecting a win.
Now you got Super Bowl hopes.
It takes fucking 16 games or 14 games for me to be like, yeah, I want this now.
Now you got Super Bowl aspirations. But either way, we will be back on Saturday to preview Washington versus Philly and to preview Buffalo versus Kansas City, which is going to be a game. That is going to be.
I mean, that's a rematch of what?
A couple years ago.
4?
For what?
4 years ago? That Gabe Davis game?
Yeah. Just probably about either way. Yeah,
3 or 4, whatever it was.
It was some, but same way Ravens were coming in for the rematch, and they had the regular season win, so the Bills had that. So Chiefs are coming into. We'll see, bro. We will see. We'll see next episode when we discuss that. But with all that being said, hopefully you all enjoyed this episode of On It. We'll be back on Saturday. Brand new episodes every Tuesday and Saturday. It has been me. It has been Devin. It has been real. We are out.
Vinny, test yourself for testicular cancer.